Yo, what is up everyone, my name is Jeff from MDK guys, and the 2020 Dixie Vodka 400 from the Homestead-Miami Speedway just wrapped up, and it was actually a pretty good race, I'm not gonna lie. From after the aftermath of Atlanta and going to a track like Homestead, I thought we were gonna get the same thing, just very spread out, drivers not being able to pass, perform slide jobs like what we saw in the Xfinity series the prior day. This race actually came through and pulled in some good racing for this package under these types of conditions. But there was an incident that took place near the ending of the race that got people talking about, and maybe it was a form of payback between two certain drivers, that being Joey Logano and Chase Elliott. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But for now, let's go over what happened at Homestead-Miami Speedway. To give you an idea, stage 1 lasted around 5.5 hours. We raced for about 6 laps and then a lightning strike came onto pit road, and that was about a 2-hour rain delay. We then were able to get back to racing and race for about another 24 laps or so. And then another lightning strike happened. Then as soon as we were gonna get back to our cars, another lightning strike happened. I mean, it was just lightning, rain throughout the entirety of stage 1 was just lightning and rain and waiting. But luckily we were able to get back to racing, and Hamlin go on to win the first 2 stages. I'm just saying this right now so we don't have to talk about it a bit later on. I want to get through this race review because I want to move on to what happened 50 laps ago from the ending of the race. So you had Hamlin out in front, Chase Elliott in second. Elliott, it looked like he was able to close up to Hamlin but could not pass him. You saw Hamlin would just hug the outside around the entire portion of the track, and then you saw Elliott, who would hug the wall in 3 and 4 but go down to the bottom in 1 and 2 to get some clean air in order to chase down Hamlin. Very similar to what we've seen in almost every mile and a half track with this package. They can close up, but they can't pass. That bubble of air is still there. So what happens when you are able to catch a driver but can't pass them? You come onto pit road, and that's exactly what Hamlin did with around 48 or so laps to go. He pits. 1 lap later, Hamlin then pits, and when pit stop cycles came and gone, Chase Elliott came out in front about 1.2 seconds ahead of Denny Hamlin. And it's starting to seem, all right, Hamlin, he's got this in the bag. He doesn't have to worry about any lap traffic. He's got fast enough car. Really, the whole entire stage, Hamlin and Elliott were about equal. So whoever got out in front more than likely was going to hold the other driver behind, and that's what Elliott did at first. But then is when we get to the interesting part. I don't remember exactly when this happened. This took place, I want to say 20 laps ago, but Hamlin was starting to inch away off of Elliott's lead. But what happened after this sparked a bit of moments. So this is coming off the back straightaway. Joey Logano, who was 2 laps down, or multiple laps down, due to an incident that took place on pit road near the beginning of stage 1 or stage 2 when he made contact with Quinn Houff and had another incident with Ryan Newman later on. So he was already done and out. He was just racing to make it to the finish. Well, he sort of held up Chase Elliott. You see here, he slides up in front of Chase Elliott, and then off of turn 2 and onto the back straightaway, they get side by side. And with this package, if you get side by side with another driver, it just kills your momentum. All your momentum is gone. And that's what happened here. Logano halted Elliott's momentum. That stalled Elliott, and Hamlin was able to chase down, get up to the back bumper of Elliott, pass him entering 3, clears Elliott, and Hamlin will go on to win the race. Elliott, he looked like he was about to chip into Elliott's lead. He was around a 3 to 4 tenths, but then Elliott hit the wall with around 5 or 6 laps ago, and that ultimately sealed Elliott's fate, and Elliott will go on to finish second. So let's take a look at the race results. As you can see him to my right, so Denny Hamlin wins for the 3rd time in his, or 3rd time this season, I should say. I believe this is his 40th win in his Cup Series career, which ties him with Mark Martin for most career wins in the all-time wins list, as now becomes the 2nd highest winningest driver to not have a championship. The only driver that has more wins than him that doesn't have a championship to his name as a driver is Junior Johnson. So Hamlin is right now one of, if not the best driver out there that has not won a championship at the moment. Chase Elliott, tough break for him, comes home in the 2nd spot and continues that streak of Hooters not being able to win the race. The last time Hooters won a race in NASCAR was all the way back to this day in 1992 with Alan Kulwicki at Pocono Raceway, I believe. Nice run for Ryan Blaney in the 3rd spot. Is one of, I think my opinion, is the best driver at Penske right now. Even though Keselowski's got 2 wins, Blaney has been the most consistent in terms of speed-wise. He just has not been able to get the finishes that him and his team deserve. Nice run for him in 3rd place, but he is due for a win very soon, in my opinion. And look at 4th place, rookie Tyler Reddick. Wow, Tyler Reddick, he put on a show. I know you shouldn't say his name. I mean, still, I don't know if you can really say his name without causing a bit of controversy. But he reminded me a lot of Kyle Larson. Hugging that outside lane, just inches from the wall, putting on a great show and equipment that you do not expect to run up there. And I'll give credit. RCR, they did really good. Austin Dillon in 7th place. By the way, congratulations to Austin Dillon. Him and his wife just had a baby earlier today. So I saw one guy on Twitter said Daddy Dillon. Please never call Austin Dillon Daddy Dillon. If you do that, I will block you on Twitter. But great run for RCR, specifically Tyler Reddick. I mean, no surprise, he's good at Homestead-Miami Speedway. He won the past 2 races in the Xfinity Series in 2019, 2018, and won the championship with Junior Motorsports and Richard Childress. But it was still, he started 24th, made his way up into the top 10 already by the end of stage 1, and just kept on chugging along, and ended up coming home with a very, very impressive 4th place finish. But a nice solid run for Aric Almirola in the 5th spot. A very quiet day for the number 10 car. Really, this whole season, Aric has not been mentioned a lot at all in broadcasts or in topics of contending for race wins. So he was just there. So very solid effort for Aric Almirola, and very nice one for Kyle Busch in the 18 car. And the reason why I say that is because Kyle Busch, if you were to say in stage 1 or even in stage 2, Kyle Busch is going to finish in top 10, you look at me like I had 3 heads on. He was just not at his best today. Was usually running outside the top 15 majority of the time, even at one point outside the top 20. But then a little bit later on, he started to chip away in the top 12. So, and then through pit strategy, was able to get his way into the top 10 and end up finishing in the 6th place. So good job for Kyle Busch. Another Toyota driver, Christopher Bell. Very quiet but solid day for him in the 8th spot. I think this is his 1st or 2nd top 10 finish. Nice one for him in the 95 crew. But to be fair, we have been expecting this from Christopher Bell. It has been a very disappointing season as of late, comparing to what Matt DiBenedetto did in that 95 car. And Christopher Bell and the races he's had up to this point were just not up to par. But hey, solid effort for him at Homestead. William Byron in 9th place. Very quiet day for him, and Brad Keselowski rounds to the top 10. How about Bubba Wallace, 13th place? I'm telling you, that 43 car, they have found something this season. I don't know if it's with the help of the new body, with Jerry Baxter coming back to be the crew chief for Bubba Wallace, but they have found something. They have found some speed. Last week at Martinsville, battling Jimmie Johnson for a top 10 finish. Tonight here at Homestead, coming home in the 13th spot. Also, a few weeks ago at Charlotte in the Coke 600, they also had a really good car before they had issues with a hub, I believe. So, chipping away at some wins. Nice job for Bubba Wallace. Or, not chipping away at some wins, but chipping away at some speed and potentially even some top 10 finishes. Good job for the 43 crew. But now we're going to start to get into the uh-oh moments. Jimmie Johnson, 16th place. I'll tell you what. As a Jimmie fan, I'm happy he got 16th place, because that car was just awful. Awful that car was. I mean, stage 1, he was top 12. Stage 2, top 12, top 15. And then stage 3, he just felt like a rock. It was in 20th place, 21st place. I think even at one point it was in 26th place. I mean, his setup compared to a Chase Elliott or William Byron, and even Alex Bowman, even though Alex Bowman finished lower than Jimmie in the 18th spot, Bowman was better than Jimmie. If you saw in stage 1, stage 2, all Hendrick drivers were, except for Jimmie Johnson, were up in the top 10. Not sure what happened with Bowman, but Bowman, he showed speed at least. Was not shining. He had speed, but just wasn't out there. Like, he wasn't a factor. He just had a bit of speed compared to Jimmie Johnson. Although I will say I'm a bit surprised Alex Bowman finished so low, because I viewed Homestead as a track similar to Fontana. Very bumpy, very abrasive on tire type track, and we saw how good Alex Bowman ran at Fontana, winning that race, as well as Chicagoland. Both an abrasive, very bumpy track. You have to use different lanes. I thought Homestead would play right into Bowman's hands, but tonight was just not the night, coming home in the 18th spot. Also disappointed for Kurt Busch and really all of Chip Ganassi Racing. Kurt Busch highest in 17th, while Matt Kenseth 25th place. Kenseth has not had the results he expected nor wanted since his return to NASCAR at Darlington. Erik Jones was running in the top 10, I believe, right before until 5 or so laps ago, where he had to come onto pit road after hitting the wall and cutting a right rear tire. So tough pay for him in the 20 crew. I will say Erik Jones is one of the most is one of, if not the most unluckiest driver in NASCAR right now, at least in the Cup Series. I mean, he's has some races where you know, all right, he's either got this one in the bag, or you know he's gonna get a really good finish, and then something happens. So But hey, that's racing. Tough break for Eric Jones. But that 20 car has got some speed. I will say they're showing a bit more speed early on in the race compared to last year in 2019, where it took them a bit longer to find some speed. I will say in 2020, they've got speed, but they just now need the finishes to back it up. Kevin Harvick, 26th place. He also had an issue. I believe he hit the wall and cut a tire down during pit stop cycles with 50 laps to go. That just ultimately put him multiple laps down, could not recover. Tough break for him in the 4 car. Joey Logano, 27th. Now, this is an interesting part with Joey Logano. So, we talked about the incident that he had on pit road with Quinn Houff when he ran to the back end of him. There was another incident between him and Ryan Newman. Now, I said this, but we skimmed over it because let's take a look. This is what happened. Entering turn 1, Logano literally just blocks Newman all the way down to the apron. Newman was not having any of it and just bumps Logano, puts him into the wall. And I will say, the reason why Logano, this is why I can never not like Logano. He acts like he doesn't do anything wrong, but then goes out and does that. Like, why are you blocking Newman so far down below the racetrack? You're racing. You're not even racing for a top 10. You're racing for like 15th or so. Why are you racing so hard? And then he'll say later on, "Oh, I'm trying to race clean," or "I'm a clean racer." You know, so that's why not a lot of people like Logano. So, I will say, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but as a race fan, I'm very happy Logano finished 27th. Very happy. But yeah, ultimately, what would I give this race? I give it a 6.5 out of 10. 65%. It was an alright race. It was much better than I expected. Again, I'm trying to compare races. I thought Atlanta, being the race that it was, Homestead, very kind of similar to Atlanta. Maybe, I don't know if it has to do with the race being under the lights and, you know, all the rubber being washed and being a green racetrack under the lights. Cooler temperatures, which is really good for this package. We know how good this package is under the lights. Look at Kansas, for example, in the spring. So maybe that's the reason why, but I was surprised, I will say, to see how good that race was. It wasn't the best, it wasn't great, but it was a good race, solid race, 65%. And yeah, congratulations to Denny Hamlin. Now, next week, it should be a fun one. The Talladega Super Speedway for the Geico 500 should be a very fun race. The restrictor plate races have been a joy to watch, specifically at Talladega. Sunday, I think at 3:30. I hate these late times on Fox. It's also really cool to see Alvin Kamara, who is part of the Saints wide receiver for the Saints, to be at the racetrack. Looks like he was joining the race, so hopefully he comes back to more races like Talladega or future races that will allow race fans. And I will say it's pretty cool to see other minorities and black people now taking a look at NASCAR and joining it. I saw another person, WNBA player, also, you know, trying to get some knowledge on everything NASCAR, and it was really cool to see. So hopefully more people, more minorities, blacks, Hispanics, women, whoever the case may be, takes a look at NASCAR and hopefully becomes fans of it in the future. But that is it for me. Tell me, what are you guys' thoughts on the race in the comment section down below? Did you like it? Did you not? What are your thoughts on Logano and I guess the situation between him and Elliott? Do you think it was on purpose? Do you not think it was on purpose? Again, all suggestions down below. But until next time, my name is Jeff from MDK. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys next time.